Stop scrolling. Turn the volume up. Because what just leaked about King Harris is so shocking, so emotionally explosive, it makes the Kardashians look like a rerun of Sesame Street. This isn't just a celebrity kid posting another cryptic caption. This is the kind of final goodbye that has the entire internet crying, screaming, and rage posting like it's the season finale of Love and Hip Hop. King Harris, son of rap legend T, and the ever-iconic Tiny, has always been a headline magnet. But this time, he didn't just shake the table, he flipped it, smashed it, and set it on fire. His farewell wasn't a post, it was a cultural earthquake. Fans aren't just stunned, they're gutted, wrecked, posting candle emojis like it's a digital funeral, and the words he chose: brutal, honest, cryptic. The kind of lines that sound like a diss track mixed with a goodbye letter. One moment he's exposing fake friends, the next he's hinting at secrets that could torch his own family's empire. Screenshots are flying across the internet faster than leaked Drake tracks. So strap in. Because what King Harris just said isn't just another headline, it's the kind of scandal that makes every rap beef look like a pillow fight. This final goodbye will leave you speechless. The internet thought it had seen every possible meltdown from King Harris. From viral fights caught on camera to messy arguments with his own father, to IG lives so chaotic they felt like free therapy sessions for trolls. King has always kept himself front and center in the drama spotlight. But when his so-called final goodbye post hit the timeline, even his most loyal fans were blindsided. This wasn't the usual "I'm misunderstood" rant or flex about street credibility while chilling in a mansion. No, this time it sounded final, heavy, like he was slamming the door shut on more than just social media. His words weren't polished or packaged like a PR stunt. They were raw and cut, dripping with pain one second and fury the next. Think Shakespeare meets subtweets. Imagine a goodbye letter written in all caps and set to a trap beat. It started with a single line: "Y'all never cared about me, you just wanted a circus," and that was all it took for the internet to stop scrolling. In less than an hour, screenshots of his message were plastered across blogs, TikToks, and YouTube thumbnails. It spread like wildfire, except this wasn't fire. It was gasoline poured onto a city already primed to explode. Fans reacted instantly. Half of them panicked, posting prayers, begging King not to give up, flooding his DMs with support. Others couldn't resist clowning, tweeting jokes like, "Final goodbye? Bro, you'll be back on live tomorrow yelling at Waffle House employees." The split reaction turned the internet into a civil war: team sympathy versus team roast. But here's what made this different. There was no punchline, no playful wink from King, no follow-up troll post. Just silence. And that silence hit harder than anything he'd ever said. It didn't take long for gossip blogs to claim inside sources had the real tea. According to one, King's farewell was sparked by his ongoing tension with his father T, a feud that's been simmering hotter than a pot of gumbo on Sunday afternoon. Another claimed the ICU scare from earlier in the year had shaken him to his core, and this goodbye was his way of letting go. Whether it was about family drama, fame pressure, or just pure exhaustion, one thing was clear: this wasn't just King being messy. This felt like King being done. The weight of those words changed how people looked at him. Suddenly, he wasn't just a brash, loud-mouthed son of a rap legend, he was a tragic character, a prince in crisis, stuck between privilege and pain. And in today's internet, that tragic archetype is more addictive than any Netflix series. Within hours, hashtags like #PrayForKing, #FinalGoodbye, and #TI responds when we're trending. TikTokers cranked out emotional edits of his message, layering it over sad piano music, while others made reaction skits mocking the drama. The balance of tears and trolling was so wild it felt like a funeral colliding with a roast battle. And let's not forget the Harris family's dirty laundry has never exactly been folded neatly. From public arguments to leaked family spats, King's relationship with T has been as turbulent as a Love and Hip Hop reunion. Fans instantly pulled up old clips of their infamous arguments, dissecting them like prophecy. "See? He was hinting at this all along," one commenter wrote. As if King had been planning this dramatic curtain call since day one. Even casual fans who never followed King closely were sucked in. People love a scandal, especially when it comes packaged as a goodbye. It taps into the deepest internet addiction fear of missing out. Nobody wanted to be the one who missed King Harry's last words. Nobody wanted to log in late and find out the drama had passed them by. That's the twisted genius of it all. Intentional or not, King Harris managed to do what rappers, influencers, and reality stars spend their whole lives chasing. He stopped the scroll. He owned the narrative. He became the headline, the meme, the tragedy, and the punchline all in one move. And if you thought the internet was dramatic now, just wait. Because once celebrities, influencers, and industry voices started chiming in, this so-called farewell went from a shocking post to a full-blown cultural earthquake. If King Harry's goodbye was the spark, the celebrity reactions were the gasoline that turned it into a 5-alarm blaze. Within hours, big names in hip-hop, reality TV, and the influencer world jumped into the mess like it was Black Friday at Walmart. Everyone wanted a piece of the narrative, and nobody held back. Of course, 50 Cent was first in line. The self-appointed king of internet trolling didn't even wait for the dust to settle. He posted a crying baby meme on Instagram with the caption, "This King Harry's farewell hit harder than when the IRS calls me." Within minutes, his comments were flooded with laughing emojis and tags to T, because fans were desperate to see the family feud spill onto another stage. 50's petty posts have ended careers, so you already know the internet treated this like a heavyweight punch. Then came Boozy, who never passes up a chance to roast. He went live, laughing harder than a man who just found out free Popeyes was back on the menu. King retired before he even dropped a mixtape. Boozy declared, "First rapper in history to quit before he starts." The clip went viral instantly. Fans called it savage, disrespectful, and hilarious all at once. But that's Boozy's entire brand, chaos wrapped in comedy. And it wasn't just rappers. Reality stars crawled out of the shadows to add their 2 cents. A love and hip-hop alum tweeted, "King Harry's saying goodbye? Baby, I thought he said goodbye seasons ago." Influencers turned his farewell into TikTok skits. One even staged a fake funeral with sad violins playing while they read King's words aloud. If tragedy sells, then King Harris just opened the hottest store in town. But the memes, they spread like wildfire. Screenshots of his final goodbye were slapped onto Titanic movie posters, SpongeBob frames, and even the iconic Fast and Furious Paul Walker farewell scene. By sundown, Twitter was less a social media site and more a meme museum dedicated to clowning King's goodbye. And yet, while half the internet was laughing, the other half was mourning. Fans were literally crying on TikTok, posting videos with mascara streaming down their faces, begging King not to disappear. Some turned his words into dramatic fan edits, layering them over Adele ballads. Others flooded comment sections with candle and broken heart emojis. It was a bizarre mix of funeral vibes and comedy roast, a digital wake attended by both mourners and hecklers. Then the conspiracy theorists arrived, armed with red circles, arrows, and YouTube explainers longer than Marvel movies. Some claim the farewell wasn't real at all, but a marketing ploy for an upcoming album or documentary. "This ain't goodbye, it's promo," one TikToker insisted, pointing at supposed hidden clues in his captions. Another theory? T. Ghost wrote the whole thing to flip the script on the family drama. Fans dissected every word like it was the missing piece of the Zodiac case. Speaking of T, the man himself finally broke his silence, and in classic Tip fashion, he did it with philosopher dad energy. Going live, he said, "King is finding himself. He's navigating a world full of distractions. As his father, I'll stand by him." Now, that sounds supportive, right? Wrong. The internet tore it apart like hungry piranhas. One tweet with 100,000 likes said, "T talks like a motivational podcast instead of a dad." Memes followed instantly. T photoshopped as a life coach, holding TED Talk mix, with captions like "how to sound deep without saying anything." Meanwhile, Tiny stayed silent again, and the silence was louder than any post. Blogs speculated she was in tears behind the scenes. Others swore she unfollowed King for a hot second. Fans painted her as the only sane one in the Harris household, trying to hold a circus tent together while the clowns set it on fire. And the drama didn't stay in the family. Other celebs got dragged in too. NBA YoungBoy's cryptic posts were linked to King's farewell, sparking rumors of a collab called Cry for Help. Cardi B trended for no reason other than someone photoshopped her reacting to King's post. The internet doesn't need facts, it just needs chaos, and King Harris had provided the perfect storm. Mental health advocates even joined the discourse, writing long think pieces about the dangers of growing up in fame. Suddenly, King wasn't just a messy celeb kid, he was the poster child for clout's dark side. Some praised him for being vulnerable. Others accused him of glamorizing breakdowns for sympathy. Everyone had an opinion, and nobody was holding back. But the comedy kept flooding in. TikTokers parodied his goodbye, acting it out in dramatic soap opera voices. One viral clip showed a guy packing a suitcase with the caption, "POV, King Harris leaving the industry." Another had someone fake crying in bed. "Me after King Harris goodbye." Even though I've never heard one of his songs, the savage humor was relentless. Here's the kicker though, tragic or funny, sad or savage, it didn't matter which side you were on. Because whether you were crying, clowning, or conspiracy theorizing, one thing was undeniable: King Harris had everyone talking. He wasn't just a trending topic, he was the internet. And in today's world, that's the real power. Clout is the new currency, and King just printed more than the Federal Reserve. His farewell wasn't the end, it was the beginning of his biggest headline yet. But here's the question gnawing at everyone's mind: what comes after the final goodbye? Because if King Harris has taught us anything, it's that nothing is ever final. The internet hasn't seen the last of him, not even close. When the smoke finally began to clear, the aftermath of King Harris' so-called final goodbye looked less like a farewell and more like the fallout of a nuclear scandal. Fans weren't just stunned, they were scrambling to figure out what this meant for his future, for the Harris family dynasty, and for the culture that thrives on watching its stars burn in public. The first blow landed on the family itself. Once seen as the authoritative patriarch of the Harris empire, now looked like the dad who lectures the world while losing control in his own household. His calm, motivational tone, usually respected, suddenly became a meme factory. Every time he tried to explain King's actions as a young man navigating distractions, the internet replied with clips of him, photoshopped as a self-help guru on a fake podcast titled "Parenting for Dummies." Tiny, by staying silent, managed to gain unexpected sympathy. Fans dubbed her the quiet queen holding the family together, while gossip blogs painted her as a mother drowning in chaos. Her absence of words screamed louder than anything King or T said. To the internet, silence wasn't just golden, it was suspicious. Then came the industry consequences. Word spread that promoters quietly started canceling bookings attached to King. A brand that had once hinted at working with him suddenly ghosted, deleting his name from press releases faster than receipts vanish from a messy influencer's purse. Collab partners distanced themselves, scrubbing photos and posts. In the unforgiving entertainment industry, King's farewell wasn't just emotional, it was radioactive. But here's the twisted irony: the scandal didn't kill his career, it supercharged his notoriety. He went from the kid in TE's shadow to the star of the messiest saga of the year. People who had never heard a single song of his were suddenly invested in his life story. King Harris had become the internet's favorite anti-hero, a mix of tragedy, comedy, and chaos all wrapped into one unpredictable package. Fans couldn't stop speculating. Was this the end of his music dreams? Would he retreat from the spotlight, or come back bigger than ever? Comment sections turned into therapy groups, with half the people crying about his vulnerability and the other half accusing him of pulling the greatest cloud-chasing stunt since Tekashi dyed his hair, and the silence that followed only fueled the storm. Days passed with no new posts, no lives, no clapbacks. The boy who once thrived on constant chaos had vanished. That vacuum turned into obsession. Every screenshot was reanalyzed. Every old interview was reposted with captions like, He was telling us this whole time. Fans refreshed his Instagram like they were waiting for a pregnancy test result. Some insisted his goodbye was genuine, a young man finally breaking under the pressure of growing up famous. Others argued it was the smartest marketing stunt of the year, pointing out how his name was suddenly everywhere. One conspiracy thread claimed he was gearing up for a comeback album. Another swore he was filming a reality show called King of Chaos. Nobody knew the truth, and that mystery kept him trending. Meanwhile, the memes kept evolving. A viral one showed King's face on a breaking news template with the caption, "Final goodbye tour tickets on sale now." Another had him edited into the Avengers dusting away scene, with fans captioning, "Mr. T, I don't feel so good." Even late-night hosts joined in, slipping punchlines into their monologues. King Harris says goodbye, but give it 2 weeks he'll be back like a Netflix reboot nobody asked for. Yet beneath the comedy was a serious undertone. His message, whether cloud-chasing or heartfelt, tapped into a real fear about fame's toll on young stars. Mental health advocates used his farewell to highlight how growing up in the public eye can warp a person's sense of self. Suddenly, King Harris wasn't just a scandal. He was a case study. The paradox was clear. His goodbye may have damaged his credibility, but it cemented his relevance. Love him, hate him, mock him, everyone was talking about him. And in the currency of clout, that made him richer than ever. But the biggest twist, just when people started accepting the farewell as final, cryptic activity appeared again. A half-deleted post here, a blurry selfie there, random captions like "Loyalty ain't real" and "Truth coming soon." Each one reignited the frenzy. The farewell wasn't closure, it was bait, and fans fell for it. Every cryptic word spawned new hashtags, new theories, new breakdown videos. It was as if King had figured out the internet's biggest cheat code: turn your life into an endless cliffhanger, and the audience will never log off. By the end, the truth was undeniable. His farewell didn't end the story, it rebooted it. King Harris had cemented his role as the walking soap opera of hip-hop culture. The scandal didn't erase him. It immortalized him. And now, the only question left hanging over fans, haters, and gossip junkies alike was this: was this really King Harris' final goodbye, or just the opening scene of his messiest season yet? And there you have it, the chaos, the heartbreak, the memes, and the madness of King Harris' so-called final goodbye. Emotional? Absolutely. Messy? Without a doubt. Final? Please. In the world of clout and chaos, nothing ever ends, it just rebrands with a new caption and a trending hashtag. But let's get real. Do you honestly believe this is the last we'll hear from King Harris? This is the same kid who can't stay away from the spotlight for longer than a Popeyes drive-thru order. Today it's goodbye forever. Tomorrow it's surprise comeback. That's not tragedy, it's marketing. And the internet falls for it every single time. Now, if you're here for the real truth, the messy breakdowns, the savage commentary, the scandals that make reality TV look like church camp, you already know what to do. Smash that like button like it owes you rent money. Hit subscribe harder than King Harris hits go live at AM, and drop your hottest take in the comments too. You think King's farewell was genuine pain, or just the greatest cloud-chasing stunt of 2025? I want to hear your theories, your savagery, your conspiracies, because trust me, we read them all. This channel isn't just news, it's the front row seat to the circus. Scandals don't stop, they multiply. And here on Fame Flaws, we don't just report the mess, we expose it, exaggerate it, and serve it up hotter than tea straight out the kettle. So buckle up, because the next scandal is already brewing, and when it drops, you'll hear it here first. This is Fame Flaws, where goodbye is just the start of the next hello.